This is where the money is in e-commerce. And this is something that a mastermind client of mine talks to my community about all the time, which is basically a reiteration of what I taught them and how they were able to scale to 7 figures per year. Is the money is in the database. Okay, so I'm going to talk about this today and hopefully provide some insights and some focus for you with how to grow and scale your e-commerce business, because your database is something that is often underrated. A lot of people that come into my paid programs, my up-level mastermind and ecom blueprint community, a lot of people don't understand the power of a database. So I'm going to go into that today and hopefully help you out with a couple of strategies. So first and foremost, we're talking about databases. So people often gravitate to only understanding that an email database is the only database that they have. That's true. That's the most important, I'll definitely say. But there's a couple more that we typically focus on in growing, which you can obviously leverage for our own, sales and financial benefit, let's call it. All right. The second one is a social database. Okay. So typically people use Instagram as their main social platform. And so your followers on there are an actual database. You can market to those people. The third pivotal one we look at is an SMS database. Okay. This is probably the most slept on or underrated database that people, A, don't really sort of understand, or B, just definitely don't utilize due to their lack of understanding, but can be massively beneficial to growing sales through another touch point in your omnipresent ecosystem, right? So that's what a database specifically is. They're the three main important ones. There's obviously going to be more than that, but they're the three main ones. So our email database, our social database, and our SMS database. So that's what they specifically are. Now, when we talk about the money being in the database, there's two main parts to this. The first thing is the immediate, right? So if you've got a database of one of those three things or multiple of those three things, hopefully you do, or at least start to build on it, there's immediate money available in there, right? So obviously I don't have to kind of explain how, the simple process of sending an email, sending an offer to your email database and you can extract sales. That's pretty obvious. Everyone knows how to do that. Not everyone can do it successfully. So there's a couple of factors to that as well. But that's what we're talking about in terms of the money being in the database, right? That's pretty easy to understand. The same thing with socials. You can do stories, you can do posts, etc. You can actually extract sales. And same thing with sending SMS as well. You can send people, offers straight to their mobile phones. It works in exactly the same way. The problem people have with being able to extract sales and revenue from these databases, okay, this is problem number one, is that they're not doing one of two things. The first thing is they're not building the database consistently. Okay, they either have a stagnated database or a declining database. And so if you continue to market that database, you're going to get diminishing returns or lack of returns, right? So it needs to be continually built upon, consciously built upon over time. The faster you can do that, the more you can condense the window of growth, the faster you're actually able to successfully, what we call harvest, money or sales or revenue from these particular databases. That's the first thing, okay? The second thing is your actual communication frequency. And so being able to present offers to your databases more frequently, you're going to extract more sales revenue, right? But like my first point there, you need to continually be building. So you're hopping between building, offering, building, offering, building, offering. And so typically people are deficient in one or both of these areas. Okay. It's only with awareness and, a conversation like this or an understanding like this that you can then go and consciously be building, harvesting, building, harvesting. So that's the first part to finding money, extracting revenue. This is where the money is, which is in your database, right? The money's in the database. The second part to this is in the long term. Okay, so as you build your database, right, you might go to 100 or 1,000 or 10,000 or 100,000 people within your respective databases. That becomes valuable to people, okay? Whether you choose to sell your business, whether you think you're going to sell your business in the future or not, the size of your actual database data is king. Okay, that's actually something that a prospective buyer would look at in terms of value add, right? So the difference between having nobody within your database and having 100,000 people is vastly different, because a prospective buyer or an educated buyer with some experience like what I'm talking to you about now will understand that with data becomes value extraction. They can basically do exactly what I was talking about in part one, being able to extract revenue and sales from that particular database. So the value in terms of the business value is enhanced over that long term. We've had a couple of clients recently actually come through our program where they're prioritizing building their database for that exact reason, their exit. Okay, they're only, just starting within the first 3 to 6 months of building their business, but already they've got that long-term thinking of they know that the value is in the data and building the data for a saleable asset. A little side note to that is our understanding of, say, social platforms versus our own ownership of, say, databases like an email database. I'll just use that as an example. Okay. We only rent Google, we rent Meta, we rent TikTok because they have the ability to just shut us down at any point in time or restrict our usage. Right? They are the ones that own the data. Whereas if we can build our databases, we have been given consent from those users to house their information and then obviously be able to communicate with them using that information. So we actually own that piece of data, right? Again, coming back to the enterprise value, that's where the value is. Okay, so when I talk about that the money is in the database, you've got two parts. The first is in the immediate, in the extraction of literal sales and revenue now. And then the second is in the enterprise value of what that's worth to a prospective buyer. Okay, so if you can think with both hats on, obviously performing the same function, how you build your database, extract short-term, extract long-term, you're on the really great trajectory to building a successful business. As you do build and your baseline of, I guess, database size increases, so will your baseline revenue, right? You can send an email and extract thousands or tens of thousands of dollars just from sending an email. It sounds almost too good to be true, but that's what Karmic cold pressed juice does on a regular basis, the business I co-founded in 2013. That database is 40 to 50,000 people now. Okay, send a basic email, basic offer, you're going to extract revenue and make it basically rain revenue and profit because you've been building that for so long and building trust and credibility and building that custom base for so long. So the power is huge and the money is in the database. I see this time and time and time again with successful businesses. You start from here, you push traffic through, use all your database building techniques, the pop-ups, the lead gen, the pop-up forms, etc., competitions, all that sort of stuff to build the database, and then you're able to extract it short-term and long-term, okay? So look, I hope this understanding was valuable. It's a short explanation. It's been on my mind. I've been talking to people in the community about it, and I want to share it with you. So I hope this was valuable for you. If it was, I'd love a like, love a subscribe. If you want to know more about how we help e-commerce businesses, you can click on the link below, check it out. But other than that, thanks for being here, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.